Hello guys, and welcome back again to my channel. Today we're gonna be making the Duchess dress. So this dress has received a lot of likes on Instagram, and guys were like loving how it looks. So I'm just gonna be showing you guys how I made this dress. It has a V neckline and then some straps and ruffles and a waistband. So I'm just gonna break it down about how I went about to make it. So this is how it looks. So to make this, we're gonna start with the band, and on this video I'm gonna be using single crochet, but I did half double crochet. Then for the skirt is double crochet, for the ruffles is also double crochet, and the straps is gonna be double crochet. Actually, most of the stitches were double crochet, so it's gonna be fast and it's not very difficult. So we're gonna start with the band, then we're gonna move down to the skirt, then we'll do the straps, and then we're gonna do the ruffles last. Hope you enjoy the video. So to start, you're gonna just get your ball of yarn. I'm gonna use the mustard yellow yarn. It's actually one of my favorite yarn colors, and I'm gonna use a 3mm hook. You can use any hook size as always. So I'm just gonna be making a demonstration again. So to start off, we're just gonna make our slip stitch. So after you get your slip stitch, you're gonna chain. So this, you're gonna chain as however thick you want your band to be. I do recommend using a thinner band. I made mine 9 chains thick, but I wish I'd made it thinner so that it's like 5 chains or 6 chains, but you can still make them the 9 chains like me. So then I'm gonna be working single crochet in each stitch. So once you're done, you're gonna chain 1, turn your work, then we're gonna be working in the back loop. This is so that we have that stretchy effect. So work in the back loop of each stitch. So just work one stitch across one single crochet across all your stitches. At the end, always chain 1, then go back and work one single crochet in the back loop. So you're just gonna be repeating that until you get the length that you need. So I just did a short length. For you, you want to make sure you make the length to be long enough to go around your waist without stretching. Okay, so I'm just gonna be using the wrist of my hand. Assume the wrist of my hand is your waist, so you gotta put the band around your waist, and without stretching, make sure it can go around your waist. So you don't wanna stretch it when you're putting it around your waist. Make sure it goes around your waist without stretching. I have to emphasize that. Don't stretch it when you're putting it around your waist. So now we're just gonna be joining. You're just gonna join the stitch that is adjacent to the next stitch, and I'm gonna be using the single crochet to join the stitches. Okay, so after you join, you can just turn, then you see how it looks on this side, on the right side. You can see that it's stretchy, and then it goes well over my hand. So mine is kind of loose because I had made it bigger, but just make sure it fits around your waist perfectly without leaving any space, and then you won't have this kind of problem. So now we're going to be working on the skirt, the lower part of the skirt. So we're going to be using after double crochet. So to start, we're going to be chaining 3, and then you work 1/2 double crochet in the same stitch as you chain 3. Then you're just going to be working one double crochet into each row of single crochet. So don't skip any row. Make sure you work 1/2 double crochet into each row of the single crochets you had made for the waist. Go ahead and make your double crochets all around, and I'll meet you at the end. So we're gonna make our last double crochet and then join. We're gonna be joining to the top chain of the chain 3, top stitch of the chain 3. Then you do another chain 3 and repeat the process. In the same stitch, you work a double crochet, and then you work more double crochets all around in each stitch. So I'm going to be sharing a tip with you guys in a few to show you how to make the skirt really fit perfectly onto your body, but I've seen other tutorials not mention it, so I guess it's okay if you skip it. If it feels too difficult, you don't have to do it. So in order for the skirt to fit me perfectly around the hips, what I did was I measured how many stitches were equal to 1 centimeter. And so for my skirt, 2 stitches equaled 1 centimeter. So because I wanted to know how many stitches I had to do so that the skirt fits around my hips perfectly, so 2 stitches were equal to 1 centimeter for the hook size I was using. Yours is going to be different, obviously. depending on the yarn size and hook size. So when I got to the end of this, I just joined again using a slip stitch, and this is how it looks. You can see it does have it goes wider as you go down, and it has a stretchy feel. That's why I'm saying, if you feel that the tip I'm gonna give is too difficult, you might want to skip it, but I do recommend using this tip so that it fits perfectly onto your body. So what you want to do is to count how many stitches you already have, so that you know how it measures at the moment. So just go count how many half double crochets you have. So after counting, we go back to our model that we had drawn. So we're seeing this is the part we had already crocheted. So after counting your stitches, maybe for example you may find that you have maybe 70 stitches, and we want to determine how many stitches we need for our hips. So we already measured and found that 2 stitches are equal to 1 centimeter. So we're just gonna find out how much our hips measure using a tape measure. So if you measure around your hips, maybe you find that your hips measure 40 centimeters. You just wanna multiply by 2, and that will give you the number of stitches you need that will go around your hips comfortably. So that's, I found it's 80 stitches. So between the 70 stitches and the 80 stitches I need to have, I'm less by 10 stitches. So I need to add 10 stitches as I work down my skirt, so that when I'm wearing the skirt, the hips area is able to fit around my hips perfectly. So I'm going to need to add 10 stitches between my waist and my hips. So another thing I need to do is determine, so that it also fits around the where it's ending. Mine was ending at the thigh area, so I need to measure my thigh area. So after measuring my thigh area, I found that it was 33 centimeters. Then I multiplied by 2. That gave me 66 stitches. So I found that I needed to have, at the end, by the time I'm getting to the end of the skirt, I needed to have 66 stitches. So I just subtracted, and I got, it's going to give me 14 stitches. So I need to also, after the hips going downwards, I need to reduce the stitches by 14 stitches, so that again it has that bodycon effect where it fits every part of my body perfectly. I hope you guys can understand that, but if it's too difficult, you can skip that part, but I do hope that you can be able to do that, because it will make a really good big difference in how the skirt will look. So now I'm just going to be working my double crochets, and when adding or decreasing, I suggest you do it at the sides, so that it's less visible. So I'm gonna work and get one side of the skirt so that I can make my increase, and I'm just going to be showing you guys how to make an increase. So to make an increase, you're gonna work one double crochet, and then in the same stitch you're gonna work another double crochet. So that is how you make an increase. Then next I'm just going to be showing you guys how to make a decrease so that you understand the concept. So you'll put your yarn to the first one, but don't pull through the second one, and then into the next stitch you pull it through, and then pull through all three of them so that it's like two stitches become one. That's how you make your decrease. Then you're just going to finish off double crochets up to the end. So remember, you're making the increase and decreases at the sides of the skirt where your hips are. That's why I suggest, because then they won't be so visible. So that's just a tip. If you do decide to make the skirt, to use the tip I just gave earlier to make the skirt fit your body perfectly. So that's how a decrease looks like, and that's how an increase looks like. Just make sure this is what you have on your skirt if you do make this. So let's just look at the skirt again. So for now we want to determine how many rows we need to get to the hips and also to the end of the skirt. So as you can see, my skirt, it has like a slanting effect already. So I'm gonna measure how thick my rows are, and for me, one row was equal to 1 centimeter. So I'm just gonna note that down. For you, it might vary, so don't use all my measurements. You can just use a tape measure to measure it yourself. Again, you can skip this part as well if you're not making the increases and decreases. If you're just gonna do the skirt without making any increases and decreases, you don't need this. You're just gonna make the skirt to the however long you want it to be. So after I found out the length, for example 20 centimeters, I knew that I needed to make 20 rows, and then I needed to add 10 stitches. So maybe I'd do one row I add an increase, the next row I don't, then the next row I add an increase, the next row I don't. Okay, so then when it comes to the lower part of the skirt after the hips, I needed to reduce it by 14 stitches. So I could do a decrease in each row for 14 rows, and then the last 2 rows I wouldn't make any increase or decrease. I'll just like repeat double crochets in each stitch. I hope you guys can understand the concept. Again, if you have any problem, you can always hit me up on my Instagram so that I can assist you in making the skirt wherever you feel you don't understand it. But this is the whole concept. So this is how mine looks, and you can see it's kind of wider at the hips, and then it's wider at the hips, and the rest of the skirt is kind of like narrower. So that's what I did. So that's how the finished skirt looks like. I love the double crochets and how neat they normally end up looking. So it's definitely one of my favorite stitches. So next is gonna go to the straps of the skirt, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to make the straps.